In this WrestleTalk news, was the AEW Tag Team title win on Wednesday invalid? WWE Raw is becoming TV-14 rated again, but not right now, and loads more. So subscribe and enable notifications to Always On for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Now, Wednesday's Fyter Fest saw brand new AEW Tag Team Champions crowned as Swerve in Our Glory came out victorious in a three-way tag match against the Young Bucks and Team Taz's Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. However, some controversy has risen online about who exactly were the legal men during the closing moments of the match, which might invalidate the win. Wrestling Inc. decided to do a time code dive into the home stretch of the contest, noting that towards the end of the match, Swerve Strickland and Matt Jackson tag into the match, which referee Rick Knox acknowledges by trying to count 2 pin attempts, saying that both men are the legal men. Then Powerhouse Hobbs tags Ricky Starks into the match about a minute later after a multi-man spot. This is despite the fact that Hobbs is not one of the legal men. Commentary even call out the fact that Jackson is still the legal man at this point. And the finish, after even more chaos, sees Swerve pin Starks to pick up the victory and the tag team titles. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not actually that big a deal, but wrestling, it's a pedantic crowd, which caused Tony Khan to have to step in on Twitter, noting that the speculation's BS. As always in AEW and generally accepted pro wrestling practices, the referee's decision is final. Congratulations to the new World Tag Team Champions, Swerve and Keith Lee. Now, obviously, part of the obsession with moments like this comes from years of being burned by WWE, pulling the old switcheroo as favoured babyfaces get cheated out of their title wins. Now, while TK has said the victory stands, it definitely could be something used to set up a rematch with the Young Bucks or Starks and Hobbs down the line. Now, as you may have seen on our breaking news episode yesterday, WWE programming is moving back to a TV-14 rating, apparently from next week. Matt Men's Andrew Zarian said Raw will be back at a TV-14 from July 18th, which would mark the first time since July 2008 that WWE has operated with a non-PG rating. According to WrestleVotes on Twitter, the move wasn't taken lightly, as the decision has been discussed for years. Though they weren't actually sure that it would actually change all that much of the week-to-week product, saying credit to good brother Andrew Zarian for dropping the TV-14 bomb. Raw exits the PG era starting this Monday night. This was a discussion for years and looks to have finally been approved. Now we'll see if it changes anything. WrestleVotes previously pointed out that WWE officials had been keen to adopt a TV-14 rating for NXT 2.0 and noted that USA Network executives were completely unopposed to that idea, basically leaving the ball in WWE's court as to when they make that change. Now, if there was one man who you just knew would welcome a TV-14 rating, it would be prolific bleeder Cody Rhodes, who I hear blades when he shaves his beard. Cody reacted to the news with a winky face emoji, so expect plenty of blood and guts stuff from him when he gets back to the ring next year.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Bespoke Post, a monthly membership club that delivers you awesome boxes of top shelf goods from under the radar brands. And you can get 20% off your first box by using our link in the video description below. Every month, Bespoke Post team introduce cool new products they found, like outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and more. Even live oysters, which are put in your box based on the preference quiz you fill out. There will be about $70 worth of goods inside, but costs you only a fraction of the value. And 90% of the products are purchased from small businesses for moral points, which I really need to balance out all those Saudi shows I watched. For example, there's the Weekender box, which is dedicated to this beautiful custom-designed mason bag, or the whiskey-themed Dram box, which contains 2 mixology charm glasses, jumbo ice ball molds, a field guide to whiskey book, and traditional old-fashioned syrup, helping you put together a sophisticated manly cocktail night for 2. Click our link in the video description below or use our discount code WRESTLE20 at checkout and you'll get 20% off your first box. Please do at least check Bespoke Post out, as every click helps support us, and trust me, when you see the sort of stuff they have up there, you're going to want to sign up right away. Support WrestleTalk, sign up to Bespoke Post.
Despite the news that WWE Raw is changing its television rating to a much more mature TV-14, we're all very mature at 14, there is some confusion over when exactly that is happening, because Andrew Zarian followed up from that initial story regarding the July 18th switch over to state, "This is a wild situation. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. WWE Raw won't be going to TV-14 on July 18th, but still in consideration for a later date. A lot more to this story. There's some hesitation regarding if this is the right move. There was a memo within USA Network that went out this morning regarding WWE Raw changing to TV 14 on July 18th. Apparently, that was sent out prematurely and the day was not finalized. I think the excitement seen online shows you that it's probably the right move for the regular wrestling fan. But I guess with an army of younger watchers, any move that potentially cuts them out and all of the wonderful opportunities to merchandise those toys that come with it does have to be taken into very careful consideration. I'd still do it, but that's just me. Now, yesterday we chatted about Sasha Banks getting booked for C2E2 convention and having multiple calls from wrestling promoters looking to book her for events. Now, the current reported line was that Banks would not be taking any wrestling-related bookings until January 2023. But time isn't the only obstacle for promoters looking to book Banks for their show, because Fightful Select reported that Sasha is looking for $30,000 per appearance as her fee for meet and greets and signings, not for wrestling matches. There is no fee for that yet. One promoter Fightful spoke to said that the steep asking price was exactly as expected, adding that her asking price was always going to be high as she is expected to be in demand post WWE release. If that has actually happen, we still don't know. The report from Fightful does note that Banks' asking price is the highest a just off TV talent has ever commanded and is a rate comparable to that of Sting in AEW. Only Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair and Goldberg asked for higher rates per appearance. The promoters spoken to by Fightful note that they were more than happy with the rate, as they were pretty confident that they could recover their money. It is worth noting that in convention terms, Banks also has the Mandalorian on her CV, and actors from these cult shows who run the convention circuit seemingly charge a similar amount. I've seen it range from ever so slightly lower than $30,000 to in excess of $40,000 for people who were in even smaller roles. Meanwhile, back at Banks' old stomping ground, they are setting high bars for themselves. This time regarding their undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, who has skipped the last few pay-per-views and premium live events. Reigns missed out on both Hell in a Cell and Money in the Bank, and though he did appear on WrestleMania Backlash, the Universal title was not on the line, which means that when he missed Money in the Bank, it marked the first time since 2014 that the company had gone 3 straight pay-per-views without a World Championship match. Well done, WWE. Well done. It's breaking records across the board. Though Reigns is reportedly on a contract that demands fewer dates from him, Roman is expected to appear at SummerSlam, though the current rumours reckon that he will be disappearing again after that, as he's not currently featured on the poster for October's Extreme Rules. Remember when he banged on about Brock Lesnar being a champion that wasn't there? Yeah. Before we crack on with the rest of the episode, we just need to thank the British Bulldog, Philip Boy J. Smith Jr. and WrestleTalk's personal ring announcer Rodrigo Benitez for their support on Patreon. Now, AEW fans might have noticed a bit of a switch up in the commentary table in recent weeks, as good old JR has moved to commentating Rampage on a Friday, as well as only doing the second hour of Dynamite on a Wednesday. Now, previously, Ross would call all of Dynamite and was not featured on Rampage's broadcast. JR revealed what happened on his Grilling JR podcast, saying it was Tony Khan's decision ultimately. He said, "I was coming out before the show and I was doing all of Dynamite and the reception was humbling. Fans are glad to see me and they express themselves and the reception has been really good. So he thought the show in the middle of the show, speaking of Dynamite, needed a boost, so JR became the booster. So I come out in the middle of the show, still going to call the main event or main events." That's the deal there. Just keeping me fresh and special and trying to give Rampage a little boost commentary-wise, selling-wise, so we need to obviously get the ratings up, which I think we are, and that's the reason for that. With all of this other shake-up in wrestling going on, it can distract from the fact that WWE's top brass are currently embroiled in a scandal and subject to an investigation by the board into allegations made against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. Because after the Wall Street Journal broke the news that Vince was under investigation for alleged payments to cover up an affair, attention turned back to older allegations made against Vince. Former WWE referee Rita Chatterton accused McMahon of trying to force her into a sexual encounter and then raping her when she refused back in 1986. A new article by New York Magazine's Intelligencer featured new comments from Chatterton and corroboration of her story from former wrestler Leonard Inzatari. Chatterton also appeared on the Cheap Heat Productions podcast to talk about how the article came about, her previous interview 30 years ago with Now It Can Be Told, and her feelings about the case now. She said, "At this point, I am not quite sure what I'm doing, so I'm going to sit back, take my time, think about it, and figure it out. If anyone wants to see it, they're more than welcome to read the article, it's New York Magazine, or if they want to know the rest of the story, I reported the rest of the story 30 years ago with Geraldo Rivera on Now It Can Be Told, and that's on YouTube, so they're more than welcome to see it there. But as far as I'm concerned, at this point in my life, I'm not going there again. It still hurts, the whole thing still bothers me, so I would rather not go there." She was also asked whether she was shocked to see these stories regarding McMahon and the others that have emerged in the interim, saying, "No, not at all. I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest with you." but none of it surprises me. In this WrestleTalk news, more details on Sasha Banks' first non-WWE appearance. Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro, reveals why he didn't re-sign with WWE, and Ollie will be here reviewing AEW Fighter Fest. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.